Hello and welcome to the Third Rail, the place of the odd and unusual and sometimes the unexplainable.
On the 25th of May 1995, an exceptional UFO-related event occurred more than 7 miles above Earth. An enormous, fast-moving UFO was witnessed by an America West airline crew. What made this incident a watershed in black box recordings was that it was one of the first on record to involve a U.S. government agency, NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command.
This 1995 America West Airlines case, the government got involved briefly. Somebody with air traffic control told the crew, one of the crew members, that they had been in touch with NORAD, which had briefly confirmed radar tracking of something in the area and then later denied it.
The Air Force confirmed that there was an object, and especially the NORAD, the North American Air Defense Command, yeah, we detect something.
America West Flight 564 was flying from Tampa, Florida to Las Vegas, Nevada. Captain Eugene Tollefson and First Officer John Waller were in control, cruising at 39,000 feet above Bovina, Texas. Everything was normal until 10:25 p.m., when the pilot spotted a UFO just below them at 30,000 feet. We have obtained the actual recording of exchanges between Albuquerque Air Traffic Control, Flight 564, and NORAD.
Okay, Cactus 564, say again. There's nothing on the radars on the other centers at all on that particular area, that object that's up in the air? It's up in the air? Affirmative. What's the altitude about? I don't know, probably right around 30,000 or so, and it's with a strobe, it starts from going counterclockwise, and the length is unbelievable.
The pulsating object was reportedly over 400 feet long, yet invisible on radar. This prompted air traffic control to contact nearby Cannon Air Force Base radar operations in Clovis, New Mexico.
Cannon, go ahead.
Hey, guy at 39,000 says he sees something at 30,000 that the length is unbelievable and it has a strobe on it.
Uh-huh.
This is not good.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's a UFO or something. It's that Roswell crap again.
The crew that saw it described it as a long, thin object, cylindrical, with a series of lights down the side, blinking on and off in sequence.
They saw a cigar-shaped object flying with strobing lights on a length of roughly 300 feet, which is quite big.
Seconds later, an Air Force F-117A Nighthawk from the 49th Fighter Wing at Holloman Air Force Base was alerted by air traffic control. The stealth fighter saw something.
Arcade 5, in the next 2 to 3 minutes, be looking off to your right side. If you see anything about 30,000 feet, one aircraft reported something. It wasn't a weather balloon or anything. It was a long, white-looking thing with a strobe on it. Let me know if you see anything out there.
You got any traffic off our left wing right now?
I've got some passing off to your 9 o'clock and about 12 at 31 westbound.
Okay, so it looks like something about a little lower than us just went off our left wing.
The Nighthawk reported an object passing off its left wing. America West 564 had the same experience moments later. The object moved dangerously close to both aircraft. The anxious America West crew contacted Albuquerque Air Traffic Control again. The object suddenly disappeared from Flight 564's view. Then a concerned Albuquerque Air Traffic Control contacted NORAD's Western Air Defense Sector headquarters at McCord Air Force Base in Tacoma, Washington.
I've got something unusual, and I was wondering if you all happen to know of anything going on out here. I had a couple of aircraft reported something 300 to 400 foot long, cylindrical in shape with a strobe.
Oh.
At 30,000 feet.
We don't have anything going on
on over that I know of.
This guy definitely saw it run all the way down the side of the airplane. It's right out of the X-Files. I mean, it's a definite UFO or something like that. But I mean,
y'all are serious about this?
Yeah, he's real serious about it too. And he looked at it, saw it.
Holy.
13 minutes later, Albuquerque Air Traffic Control checked in again with NORAD. Only this time, NORAD had something.
We had someone call here earlier about a pilot spotting an unidentified flying object.
Yep, that's us.
Okay, well, hey, we're tracking a search-only track kind of up where that might have happened. We've been tracking it for about 3-4 minutes now.
According to the official report, NORAD has denied this incident in writing.
These were experienced airline pilots. They'd been flying thousands of hours. They were familiar with the sky. When they say something, you have to pay more attention to it.
Right, it disappears. This is at 16 times speed. You can see it fly over the horizon. I'm going to slow it down here. Now it's just halted in midair. Then shortly I zoom in. This is where I notice it. I'm going to pause here. And that's the object that I zoomed in on. I'm going to play it again. I zoom back out because I really can't believe what I'm seeing. So I zoom back in, and as I zoom back in, it disappears there. It just fades out. And so I zoom back out to make sure that's just not a camera issue. And then it reappears, so I zoom back in immediately, and there it is again. And then as I zoom in this second time, or third time, it disappears again, and unfortunately on this phone camera you can't see it, but it fades off gently to the right. It's very pixelated on this camera. So I sit here for a second, wait for it to come back, and it doesn't. But it was sitting there for around 4 minutes, and as soon as I started observing it, it disappeared. And I monitored this camera for the rest of the night, and it never came back. So hopefully we can figure this out.
Okay, 30 seconds ago, I just caught something. I'm losing my mind right now. Please tell me what I just saw. Like, look at it, analyze it. What did I just catch on the moon? I'm losing my mind. Oh my God. What did I just video? Oh my God. Oh my gosh. What was that?
Baby, did you see?
I'm losing my mind.
And for them to show that lame video when you can find all this other that's out there. And I've talked to Navy pilots that are in there at the same time, Navy pilot, and that's the kind of people you need to have in here for testimony.
That video seemed to be taken from an iPhone, from an F-18.
I don't know what, an iPhone, and we've got literally. I'm sorry, I keep pointing. I'm not mad at you all. When we have video from Navy pilots from their wing cameras, for goodness sakes.
That seems
bring
to
those guys in here.
Yeah, it seems to raise
talk.
a question if they've
and,
got
and by telling you that they have whistleblower protection or something, that's bogus until it's in the law. For us to just sit here and talk about it is bogus, and and you really need to provide them with some sort of ability to come in here and not be persecuted and not have a blemish on their records.
They kept talking about 18 cases that seemed to baffle them and they didn't have explanations for. Would you like to see more?
I sure would. Transparency. I do not fear the American public knowing what we have. I would sure as heck like them to see it.
So did you learn anything today?
No, ma'am. I learned that I was correct and that the cover-up will continue.
Over the last several years, a Miami resident named Adrienne is now considered one of the best documented contact cases in history. At first, the sightings began occurring at some distance from his home, but it wasn't long before the craft began appearing over his backyard. This amazing video footage shows a glowing disc approximately 9 feet in diameter hovering just feet from his house. In the blink of an eye, the craft disappears. Once the footage is slowed down, we can clearly see the craft dematerialized frame by frame. Adrienne's contact case took place over a period of several years and was never reported to the authorities for fear of ridicule and reprisals. This cylindrical-looking probe was videotaped outside Las Vegas, Nevada, where it hovered in the air for over 4 hours. The next day, the probe returned and was videotaped examining the power lines. This never-before-seen footage was taken of a probe as it scanned the coastline of central Florida. Clearly, we can see it appears to be intelligently controlled. The probe's 2 sections rotated as it monitors the activities of the photographer. And yet another water sighting. This odd-shaped craft slowly descends to the water's surface, where after pausing for a moment, it slowly rises and departs. Another probe-shaped UFO makes its way across the Florida night skies. The footage was taken from the photographer's car as he tried to keep up with the object. This videotape of 2 similar UFOs made international headlines. Eyewitnesses watched in amazement as these craft performed acrobatic maneuvers and even dodged an oncoming airplane.
I remember one report where an object got in behind the trailing edge of the large wing and ahead of the smaller wing in the position, open position there, and remained for 2 or 3 minutes, and they got pictures with all of the movie cameras and the handheld cameras, including the 8x10 Fairchild camera. All of the data that was recorded by this special equipment, the cartridges, cassettes, rolls of film, and everything, after a mission with an encounter, was removed from the canisters and the equipment items and packed in a metal box and chained to an officer's wrist and flown to Washington that night.
Thanks for watching The Third Rail. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps a small channel like mine. See you soon.